Hello and welcome back to my studio. My name is Rebekah Victoria and today I'm going to do a little bit more work on this painting that I have here. I was painting this the other day and I didn't film anything, so I was just painting for fun. I didn't really have any plan. I just wanted to use these greens and see what would come up. I'm obsessed with this section here. I love that color. I don't think I even filmed any of doing the background either. I was slowly working on it while painting with my daughter recently over a few sessions, and I love where it's gotten to so far. I am going to start adding flowers and see where it takes me. I have a few reference images that I have collated from back in Australia on my grandparents' farm that I took and that my family have taken and kindly let me use, and I am using my memory a lot as well. So my nana had this amazing rise that she planted all of these beautiful vibrant colorful plants on, and it was just full in the spring and it was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. I am painting a lot from my memory and I have a few photos on my phone, so we'll see if I need them or not, but I probably won't. I think I'm just gonna let my imagination, my curiosity and my intuition take me wherever it wants to go. I am not in any real worry about these paintings because they don't have to mean anything, they don't have to be anything. I could throw them out for all I care. So that is a beautiful space to create from because it gives you so many possibilities. You're much more willing to take risks and chances, and I am in the zone where I'm ready to take a few risks and just see what happens because I am not too worried about the outcomes, and that's a beautiful, beautiful place to paint from. So let's get going. Okay, so the colors that I have picked today, this is the yellow ochre. I used it direct from tube and feathered it all in. So I will have that handy for when I'm up to this section. I have magenta, which is this color here, which I did the same with. It is direct from the tube, nothing is mixed into it. And then I feathered it into the greens that I have. So I'm going to start with the magenta. I have out a permanent rose. I'm not sure if I'll be using it or not. I will probably put on my palette and see what happens. And for sure a white because I want to bring out the flowers a bit in this section and really try to see if I can get them speaking really loudly, and we'll see what we can do there. I am going to start with these colors. I will put the yellow ochre down because I feel like I might want to mix some into some of these, but we'll see. I'm just going to put a little bit out. I need to set a 30-minute timer so that I don't overwork and exhaust myself with my fibromyalgia, my chronic pain, my little illness here that I find a blessing and a curse all at the same time. I think that it has really pushed me forwards creatively in a lot of ways recently, with having one of the worst flare-ups I've had ever last year, and it has really pushed me to just want to add more beauty into this world and want to create things that I like creating rather than what I think I should be creating. So I've set a timer here and I'm going to get a brush. What do I want? I want a smallish brush, I think. I ordered these brushes last year, I think, and I really love them. A lot of the brushes that I use are fairly coarse, but I'm trying to try a few other things to see if I like them. I love this one. This is like worn down so much. It's the number 2 round bristle brush. It's so worn down though, but I'm also trying to work a lot more with these softer brushes. So this is a Sorrento round artist loft brush. It was fairly cheap. I just wanted to try it out. I find it a bit wonky, which is frustrating, so I do need to try and fix that a bit, get some glue in there somehow, but we'll see. I'm going to move these colors up here. Okay, so I'm going to start with oil on my palette, and that is a lot of oil. I did not need that much. We'll get some magenta going. first things first, I'm just going to add a bit of white. And I think I want to, I'm not sure if I want to or not. I'll definitely add some of this rose yellow. I'm not sure if I want the yellow or not. I don't want it to look too orange yet. Oh, I love this. This actually feels so reminiscent of, I'm just lightening it up to see if it's the right color, and then I'll make a darker version again over here. My nana used to grow these flowers. I think they were called pig face or something like that. And they were like the brightest flowers you've ever seen. It was so beautiful. They were literally this pinky color. But I'm going to have to ask her what they were called. I don't really know my plan here. I'm just going to do it. Just going to wing it. I'm going to raise this a smidge because it feels low. I'm just doing little dabs at this point, and we'll see what it looks like. It's obviously a pretty far away landscape, so what I'm thinking of doing is it's going to have to be fairly small and kind of create that depth in it by, you don't see any of the details, you see like the whole at once. And then I'm considering I will put maybe some flowers in the foreground that sit on top, but I don't know yet. I haven't fully decided. I'm going to see where it leads me. To not control it too much because I don't want you to be able to see my mind working in this. I just want it to breathe on its own and create its own thing. And mix in a bit more paint. It's getting too oily already. So I've added a bit of the magenta, the permanent rose, and a bit of the white. The permanent rose I always find so much darker out of the tube than I expect it to be. Lighter than I want it to be. Hey mess, it's okay. Always darker out of the tube, like that looks so much darker than this. So I find that funny. I don't know why. I feel like the color on the label is so wrong. Something that I often forget to do when I'm painting little details like this up close is to move backwards and really take it in and see how it looks from afar, because the perspective really changes how you experience the piece. I usually don't sit in this chair. I'm currently sitting in like my desk chair. I usually sit in my pink studio chair, but I've been just trialing it to see if it's more comfortable or if it works better, because sometimes I find that I get a very, very sore back in my other chair because I think it's so leaned back. It's so like casual almost. I'm trying this upright one, but I'm not sure if I really find much difference, to be honest. I do like that I can move this chair easily because it's on wheels, obviously. I love that because then I can roll back and get the perspective so easily. It's kind of awkward to get out of the chair when I'm painting. It's like when I have my setup all around me too, it's it's like I'm really kind of like situated in that spot for a bit. It's hard to get out. I have to climb out over everything. So it doesn't lead to that. It doesn't lead to that very easily. So I'm curious to see. I found I was using this chair when I painted the background, and I found it so much easier because I could do the back and forth. But that wasn't painting in detail as such like this. That was obviously painting in a very different way, and also painting in acrylic, and I just paint very differently when I'm painting with oils. And yeah, it's more of a like I sit down and concentrate and get all the parts in where I want them type practice, whereas with the acrylics it's a lot more experiential, a lot more in the moment, and I find that the actual unit rows in it than it needs. I don't know what I was saying, I lost my train of thought. No, I was talking about the differences between how I paint with acrylics and oils, but I don't know what I was saying exactly. When I paint with acrylics, I allow the forces of the acrylics, I guess, to really dictate the nature of how it paints, because I paint with a lot of water in. I paint with my spray bottle, and gravity plays a big part in that, because I want to almost oversaturate or overwater the paint and extend it in that sense, because I want gravity to play a part in creating these beautiful, like, dreamy runoff pieces. So I just have a lot less control of how it's going to look, and I find with acrylics, with oils, it tends to be more of a control. Every brushstroke is controlled. I want it to look exactly as I want it to look. Even when I am following my intuition, it feels a lot more controlled, just by the nature of it. Kind of want to look up and find the pictures a little bit and take a little look at them, but I'm going to do a bit more first. Putting some more magenta on my palette again already. You know me, never had enough on. I don't like to put too much on and then adding it on all the time, but I don't mind doing it that way. It works for me. It makes me feel safe by not adding too much and wasting paint. There's such a scarcity mindset around wasting paint. I hate the thought of not using some of my paint. I don't know why, I don't know where it came from. I guess I do tend to think that I grew up with quite a scarcity mindset, and I guess that's probably where it comes from. I just hate wasting things, and things that I've spent my money on and things that I love, such as my paint, is something that is sacred to me, because this practice means so much to me. So I do have a really hard time with, adding lots of paint is something that I really had to train myself to do, to add thicker paint and not to do just these thin glazes all the time, because I I would do that if I could, because that suits my nature of not wanting to waste things a lot. But it's not how I want to paint. I want to paint more bold, more thick, more texture, more vibrance. And to do that, you need to use more paint. You need to add a lot more onto it. You need to have those thick, oozy layers, and you need to have variation in textures. You can't just only have glazes. So that's really pushed me trying to do that. I started doing that in Paris. I did a portrait. We had a assignment laid out for us, and I did a portrait of a woman. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I didn't really feel that intentional about what I was doing. I knew I needed to get something done, so I did it. And it was honestly like, I think I screenshot it from a TV show I was watching. It was a person, and I'm pretty sure she was an actress that I screenshot, I think, from memory. And it just seems so random to even say aloud. I feel like kind of stupid for saying that I painted that. But I had to paint something, and I didn't have an image in mind, and I didn't want to scroll the internet forever, and she was beautiful, and I loved her facial expression, so I just ran with it, and I got obliterated, what felt like obliteration in the feedback. I'm sure that my lecturer felt like it was coming from a place of constructive criticism, and in hindsight it was. I think the delivery could have been better, but basically that I was painting in a way that was so boring and had no presence or emotion or depth or anything. It was a waste of time, and it was basically garbage. So I pretty much went home and bawled my eyes out for 4 hours because I felt so lost and confused. I was in a different country. I was by myself. I hated my roommate. She was a piece of work. And didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was painting. I didn't feel connected to any of the people there or the lecturers there. I didn't feel like myself. And I slowly went on a journey of figuring out who I was, probably from that day forwards until today. And I definitely had setbacks along the way. I definitely don't think that it was a linear journey either. But something in that critique kind of lit a fire under my ass to do better. And I started looking at artists in a different way. I have these notebooks that I carried with me every single place I went when I was in Paris. When I was there, I went away a few times, and I went to galleries. In London, I spent, I think it was around 10 days in London, just gallery hopping and hanging out with one of my best mates. And it was John Singer Sargent's exhibition in London that I went to that felt very eye-opening to me, and to see the way that he painted and the way that he used the paint to create the texture and to create the depth in the faces and things that he painted showed me that maybe that this lecturer wasn't just trying to be an a-hole to me. He was coming from a place of criticism, constructive criticism, delivered in the wrong way. Nonetheless, still could have been productive. And so I really tried to use it to find the best of my abilities that I could. And I started painting family members. Family members have always been my go-to when I don't know what to paint, because I feel like they just hold such a different presence and a different purpose. I painted my beautiful boyfriend who became my fiance while in Paris. He proposed. I painted him a number of times, and having that emotional connection to the subject really elevated the paintings, I think, rather than just picking something out of a TV show that I was randomly watching. That really made a difference to the paintings, and I really started to try and learn to paint in a different way than I'd ever painted or seen before. And now I really probably should thank that lecturer. He actually was an Australian, which is funny, and he was just teaching in Paris. And I did actually do a lot of studies of Sargent too. I did quite a few of his paintings. I would print them out on huge pieces of paper, as big as I could print them at the art school. They had free prints there, and I really took full advantage of that. And I took advantage of all the amazing art that I had at my fingertips. So I was at galleries as often as I could, every other day basically. And in Paris, when you're a student, you get free admission into a lot of the galleries. I mean, a lot of them are free as well, but the ones you have to pay for, you got free admission to. So that was wonderful too, because I just had so much more opportunity at my fingertips because of that. And it really transformed my practice. Honestly, like, going to Paris was a huge evolution. I came in leaps and bounds while I was there. I really did. I had so much fun as well. Even personally, I think I tremendously developed while I was there, because I was out of my old comfort zone. I was away from everything I knew, and I had the space to just be whoever I wanted to be. I didn't have to be a certain way. I didn't have to be a certain person. I could just be. And I truly think that having that space was very pivotal. But coming back to Australia, and living at my parents' house again was challenging after that, because I was so used to having my own space and having so much freedom and being in the city, like living in the city and living with so many things at my fingertips. Like, Melbourne is a great city. It is fantastic for public transport, but it's not the same as like living around the corner from what's it called? I can't think of the museum name now. Central Pompidou, which was one of the great museums for modern art. So I lived like a 3-minute walk from there, and that's just not the same as when you live in suburbia in Melbourne, obviously. So yeah, I still miss Paris. Paris will always hold a dear spot in my heart, because oh man, it was just a place of growth for me. It was one of my expanders, that's for sure. And sometimes it's not until you look back that you don't realize how much of an effect that even a place can have on you. And I will definitely go back one day. I would love to go back by myself, to be honest. I think that would be really so much fun, and just visit and just pretend I'm in that space again, and just have a little bit of time back in that era and just live in it in a different space, because I'm going back. I think it would be really different than from now. So I love this pinky, reddy, gorgeous, vibrant tone that I've got going on. I'm going to do the same with this yellow ochre. I don't think I'm going to mix any other colors in. I guess a little bit of magenta in now, because that was in the oil. And let's see where we go with this. I'm not sure how much left I have on my timer. I've got 8 minutes, so I can probably get a bit done here. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice and thick, buttery. little bit more. Beautiful. Yeah, those kind of experiences really are invaluable, especially when you're at that pivotal age of where you're learning who you are still and you're trying to figure out who you are away from your family. I think that Americans tend to get that in a different way than anybody else because they go away for college, but like Australians, like for university, we never really, well, we don't often go away, especially if you're in Melbourne, and like you pick a university in Melbourne and you go to it, like you figure it out and you just go local essentially. You don't really go away for college or university, and I think that you are kind of missing out on some valuable life experiences. You often live at home just because the cost of living is so outrageous in Melbourne that you can't even get an edge in there. So you're missing out on a lot of skills that you develop by living alone when you do that. But going on exchange and doing things like that is one way to really push yourself to have different experiences. Or I would really love to go on an artist residency in the future. I definitely will. I'm not sure where I want to go even. Honestly, Italy would be amazing. Maybe that's where I want to do an artist residency one day. But I want to wait till my kids are a bit bigger. I don't want to be away from them right now. They're way too little unless I have to be. So I would love to do that one day. I think that would really push my art in a new direction. And somewhere like Italy is somewhere where there's so much culture and so much history that I think I could really immerse myself really, really well into that. I don't know where I would go or what I would do. Like honestly, like a small town, like vineyard town would be so amazing. I don't know. I'll have to do research because it's not soon, but it's sometimes nice to just know where you're heading and have a plan and think about these kind of things because, yeah, they truly make a difference to your life, to your art, because everything affects your art, really. Like everything about your whole life affects your art. It comes down to, silly brush, it comes down to how much you let it affect your creativity, but whether you want to or not, it will touch it and it will make a difference. So why not push the boundaries and do something really different for yourself, like going on an artist residency to a place that is so foreign and so different, or even a different language, and push yourself. Maybe I should start learning Italian. I did Italian in primary school. I have extremely basic Italian. I know the numbers, and I know things like cat and hungry and dog. But yeah, maybe that's in the cards for me in the future. Stay tuned. It'll be like 10 years away, probably. We'll see. I think this is coming along really well. I have a few different colors already going on in here, which are sitting really well, and I love that. So I will be adding more, and I'm hoping to get a little session in tomorrow, I'm thinking. So we'll see where this takes me. Maybe I'll have it at a better stage of wetness where it'll be half dry kind of thing, and I'll be able to blend it a little but not too much, because right now it's a bit too dark for that kind of thing. Too wet. Yeah, I would definitely need to do another short painting session, so I will be able to pack up this palette and just kind of leave it where it's at right now. I'll just put the lid on, and that's the best thing about this palette. I love it to death already. And yeah, the This color I've already mixed up, but I haven't even touched yet. So I want that to be a bit more dry before I put any of those lights in yet. So that can be a tomorrow thing for sure. And I will keep going on with this as well. I need to figure out how to fix this paintbrush a little because it's so wobbly. I hate it. To be perfectly frank, it's so annoying. It's distracting almost. But I guess it is a constraint that I might have to work within because it takes away some of the control. What's up, puppy? I only used this one brush today, so that's probably not a very healthy thing. It's much better to use multiple brushes, but I have to remind myself to do so, especially when you're using multiple colors. But it worked out okay because I ended up mixing the colors in a bit together, so it didn't make any difference really for me. But if you don't want muddy colors, use multiple brushes. That is a big tip. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that for today. How long do I have on my timer left? 41 seconds. So this is where I got to today with this painting video, and I'm obsessed with where it's at. I love it so much. I'm so glad that I sat down at the easel today to do a bit of painting, and I'm gonna hopefully do a bit more tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. I hope you got some value from this. If not, I hope you just had a beautiful, relaxing paint session with me. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Hopefully you can go and do some painting yourself and yeah, get some creative energy flowing. Today really is a great day to go and create some art. The sun is shining here. I have high energy and I hope that I can transfer this on to you too. I'm sending you so much love and wishing you a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.